truly the worst chapter of my life, the worst financial decision I ever made. My condo is going into foreclosure. So today we are driving there for the last time. There's a few items I need to take out and I'm gonna tell my story. This has been a 3-year-long nightmare. So many mistakes were made along the way, and then so many things happened that were out of my control. After everything, I still can't believe it is ending this way and has come to this, but I am so ready to finally be done and be free. A dark cloud over my head for years, and we're finally almost to the day where I'm never gonna have to worry about it again. I'm just gonna be able to focus on the future and rebuilding and clean up after this mess. We just pulled up and I'm like shaking. I mean, it's been hitting me and I've accepted what's happening and the fate that the condo has and where it's going, but like, it's just so sad. Just so much wasted money. I've been prepared, but I feel like it's like really hitting me. And you know, this whole foreclosure process took so freaking long. So for like a year, we've been forced to live there, not wanting to live there. It was way too small. It's just a really hard year being stuck there, waiting for this to finally happen. Hi, I'm Justine. I'm a real estate agent in Phoenix, Arizona, and I'm going through a foreclosure and I'm finally sharing my story. I'm a new creator here on YouTube, so please make sure you're subscribing to my channel and liking this video because I'm gonna be sharing everything. I've been silenced for too long and I'm ready to tell my story. And the most heartbreaking part about all this is I put so much work into this condo. Like when I bought this place, I had a vision. I was gonna flip it. It was gonna be, you know, on a golf course in Scottsdale and become a rental one day. All those plans just went to crap. Most of it was stuff that was out of my control, but lesson learned. I will never ever buy a condo again. I'll never live in an HOA again. I did these floors, I painted ceilings, walls, new light fixtures throughout. I updated the light switches and outlets, but every single appliance is new. Stove, fridge, dishwasher, sink. Oh, all for nothing. All for the bank to take it back. Better than when I bought it. Didn't put any money in the bathrooms yet, thank God. Bedroom 1, bedroom 2, this was our room. I'm gonna leave them the extra flooring I had because that's nice of me. It's hard not to feel like a total failure. It needed to happen. I have so much to tell. I'm trying to figure out how to organize my thoughts. This will probably have to be a series of events. What led up to the foreclosure? It's funny, I had this whole big plan of what I was gonna talk about when I was in my condo, and now I'm here and I'm just like, get me out of here. Let's just start with all the mistakes I made. Let's just put it out there, okay? This was before I was a real estate agent. I was living in California at the time. It was the end of 2021. Scottsdale, Arizona was having a freaking frenzy and the real estate market was absolutely insane. And I was in California and I bought this condo sight unseen in a bidding war that had an appraisal gap I had to cover. Like it was literally wrong. And I want to add now, I'm a real estate agent now, so in hindsight, I'm like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? I made all these dumb mistakes. But lessons learned, that's why I'm sharing my story. That's why I've been sharing my story. You know, most of the time when people go through these horrible disasters where they lose their home, where they destroy their credit, where they're starting over, they're embarrassed, they're ashamed, they feel like a failure, which I feel all those things, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, it's an opportunity to share my story. It's an opportunity to connect with other people going through the same thing. It's an opportunity to hopefully prevent someone else from making the same mistakes that I made. So that's where I messed up when I bought it from the get-go. And things were going great after I bought it. The market kept going up and up. I had people coming and offering me $50,000 more than I had paid on this. I was like, oh, heck no. And I had started remodeling it. You know, my plan at the time was I'm gonna live in this cute little 2-bedroom condo for a couple of years and then turn it into a rental property. And again, the location's incredible. It's right on a golf course. It's perfect. And the numbers worked at the time for it to be a rental property. And then the problem started. I don't know how quickly it was after I moved in here. It was maybe, I don't know, six months, 10 months, not too long, where I got a letter that there was something wrong with the balconies and structure problems in the complex, and that they were gonna have to double our HOA fee to $400 a month to cover that. But they said it was temporary and they would fix the problems and then it would go back down, and everyone was cool with that. We were like, yeah. Well, we're all in, let's get this fixed. So we were paying, and then I became a real estate agent, and then I realized nothing was getting done, and then I realized the values of these properties were crashing, and then I started going to the HOA meetings. And this was like, you know, this again is going over 3 years long. So now for the last 2 years, I'm like, Houston, we got a problem here. Why are there so many units for sale? Why are the values crashing? Why are we spending all this money per month to fix problems and I haven't seen anything get fixed? There were no updates being sent out, nothing. And I have to be careful because this is, you know, an active ongoing issue. I can't, for legal reasons, just disclose everything that's going on with the complex, the HOA, the property management at this time as much as I want to, but just know things weren't being done. Issues weren't being taken seriously. Fiduciary duties, in my opinion, I feel were blatantly not handled. All I'm saying is we were paying all this money and I don't know where it went. It didn't go to fixing the issues, I'll say that. And then I found out the complex had become unwarrantable. These condos were unwarrantable. What does that mean? Basically means lenders won't lend. And there's a lot of reasons why the complex is not warrantable. And there's a lot of things that can make a complex unwarrantable. This is a serious problem happening in the condo market. You guys, my story is not unique. By sharing my story, I have ran into hundreds of other people that have gone through the exact same thing as me. These condo complexes are becoming unwarrantable, lenders won't lend, which means buyer pool goes boop, and no one can sell. And then it causes the prices to crash because there's all this availability and there's no buyers for it. And when it's like, oh, well, if we fix whatever problems these problems are causing to make it unwarrantable, to get it warrantable again, then we'll be okay. So then these HOA fees are getting out of control. I mean, they're spiraling. I've seen complexes with HOA fees over $1,000 a month. Ours is more than $400 a month now. It just got raised again. Look, this complex was warrantable when I bought it. Look, I looked at the HOA docs. I did my due diligence. The financials were good. The HOA looked healthy on paper. But what I didn't foresee was lendability to go away. I didn't know unwarrantability was a thing. I hadn't heard of that. A lot of this has started happening after the Florida condo collapse a couple years ago. So although you can say all you want, Justine, you should have done your due diligence. Yeah, I should have, and I did. And I'm sure I maybe overlooked some things, but at the same time, that's a snapshot of history. That's looking back in time, not looking forward into how the market can change, how lending standards can change, how laws can change, how the HOA can change, how the property management company can change. All these changes were happening and I had no control. I tried to go to every board meeting. They didn't want to listen. They thought I was being emotional. They didn't think I was being honest. They didn't even know what warrantability was. So I guess what happens next? Well, okay, so assessments and fees kept going up and up and up, okay? And it was about a year ago that I made the point that I gotta let this place go. I gotta let it go. And I'm not gonna make any more payments on it. And I remember it was right after an HOA board meeting where they were talking about special assessments and how they could foresee a massive special assessment of, you know, over $20,000 per homeowner to fix these issues. She actually said $20,000 to $40,000. That's what someone from the board said. I could foresee $20,000 to $40,000 special assessment per homeowner, whether that's split up over a few payments a couple times a year, whether that's split up into monthly, whether that's a one-time fee. That's probably what we would need to get this place warrantable. And I'm like, and then they started talking about how they were going to require all of us to replace our windows. I'm already underwater. You've already crashed the value of this place. These fees are already so high. Why would I keep paying on something that I'm already underwater on? And let me tell you, because the HOA fees were now so high, I can't rent this place out anymore. I would cash flow negative. Before I would have made money. Now I would be losing money every single month and be responsible for all these upcoming assessments that are happening. And I was like, I can't do this. This is losing me money. So here's the thing. And let's say if the value of the property was gonna keep going up, like I would cash flow negative and rent this place out, I would. But you never, ever wanna cash flow negative on a depreciating asset. That becomes a liability. You don't cash flow negative on something that's going down in value. That's a horrible idea. I had to stop the bleeding. And so I just stopped making payments. I did try to pursue a short sale. I'm gonna make a whole nother video about that because that was a whole saga. But long story short, the short sale was unsuccessful. And now we're going to auction. And now I'm gonna rebuild. I mean, people keep saying my life's gonna be over, but it hasn't been over. Like, it's gotten better since we've moved out. And I think it's gonna be better once this place is no longer in my ownership. I do think I'm gonna go to the courthouse when it sells for the auction. Honestly, I don't even think it'll sell in the auction. I think it'll just become bank owned, but we'll see. I do plan on making a video about that as well. Once we stopped making payments, we lived here for 8 more months. And then we moved out into a new home that we love. That's a much better fit for us. But those 8 months were hell. This year has been hell. These last 3 years have been hell. This was the biggest mistake I ever made. It costed me a lot of money. I am feeling kind of down, so I'm gonna wrap up this video now, but I'm gonna talk more about this foreclosure. I'm gonna talk about more what actually happened. This is more of a, hi, this is who I am and what I'm going through video. I want to make a lot more about this. I think that this is an important thing to talk about. So please leave me comments with any questions you have or topics you would like me to make spin-offs on. And again, thank you so much for the support with my channel.